and all of us who would grow to our full potential. Let's talk about the physical side of living. Newton's law of gravity, what goes up must come down. Dr. Spock's law of childhood behavior. Spank a child, they will cry. Murray's first law of gastrointestinal certitude. Everybody eats and everybody bleeps. Let's talk about the first side of that equation. Everybody eats. How many of us enjoy eating? It's not only a biological necessity. We celebrate. It's part of our culture. It is part of a worldwide culture. You go to China, Japan, Europe, South America, Canada, the United States, and we eat together. We celebrate anniversaries, birthdays, bar mitzvahs, christening, funeral. We eat and we celebrate. It's how we build relationships. And it is part of being human. Take the second part of the equation. Being uncomfortable. Don't talk about that. When Carol Cantrell introduced this speech, everybody eats. I saw the smiles. Yeah, I love eating. Second part of the title. Everybody bleeps. Imagine our guests leave Toastmasters meeting. I think I got to talk about bleeping. It is part of being human. And you cannot avoid those two physical phenomena, eating and bleeping. If you do, you will become uncomfortable very quickly. Let's talk now about the emotional side of being human. Everybody eats and everybody bleeps. That's part of living, and you cannot avoid that. Nor can you avoid the joys and pitfalls of being a human being. What gives us joy as an emotion? Our successes, our experiences throughout life. Carol Cantrell and her husband have built a very successful accounting business. Eddie Merlin, a very successful project management consulting company. Richard Cummins built a career at Compaq, now at Hewlett Packard. Chris Brown, the Olympic archery team, gave a speech about that. We experience joy about being human beings. But as President George Herbert Walker Bush said about the Persian Gulf War, we will not go into Iraq unless we find ourselves in deep doo-doo. That would be a mistake. And we all make mistakes. It is part of being human. I share with you now Murray's first law of human potentiality. In order to grow as a human being, you must be willing to put yourself in a situation where you are uncomfortable. Unexplored territory. We are all imbued with potential. But can we achieve that potential? First law says only if you are willing to put yourself in situations where you are uncomfortable. You want to grow as a speaker? Give speeches, different kinds of speeches, impromptu speeches. Go through that manual. Will you be uncomfortable? Yes, you will. Will you make mistakes? Most definitely. Will you grow? Will you become a better speaker? Will you reach your potential? You bet. Murray's second law of human potentiality. The measure of a growing human being is not whether they make mistakes. It's how they manage the mistakes they make. And Murray's third law of human potentiality. The person who is most concerned about the mistakes you make is you. The rest of us who are busy growing to fulfill our potential, we're too busy making our own mistakes to worry about yours. When you obsess about making mistakes, you're living in the past. You're living in the past. And there's nothing you can do about the past. You're not Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. You do not get to rewind the clock and live it over. You can live in the present. You can analyze information in the present. But where action, commitment, and intent reside are in the future. So what do you do when you make a mistake that does make us uncomfortable? And I'm not encouraging all of you to go out and try and make mistakes. I'm suggesting to you that as part of being human, you will make mistakes. So what should you do? 3 things. First of all, become self-aware. Become self-aware. When you make a mistake, how are you handling that emotionally? Are you obsessing about it? Are you worried about it? Understand what's going on inside of you. Run from the past, where we accuse, where we defend, where we rationalize. Living in the past does not help, and that's where the mistake occurred. Run to the future. Be aware when you're stuck in the past. Become self-aware. Move to the future. Secondly, collect data. Analyze. Understand your options and make a decision. Make a decision. Thirdly, get help. Thirdly, get help. Depending on the severity of the mistake and your personal expertise, you may be able to handle the mistake by yourself. You get a traffic ticket. Most of us can handle that by ourselves. Pay the fine. Take the class. If it is a more significant mistake, get help. I have an inner circle of advisors. There's 4 people. 2 business associates, my spouse, Dee, and my brother. And I call upon them depending upon the severity of the mistake. What should I do? I often need help pulling myself from the past and into the future. I have ad hoc advisors. I have a CPA, an attorney that I call in certain circumstances, financial advisor. I get help when I need it. I've always been interested in archery. My wife was at one point in her life very proficient, and I knew that Chris Brown worked to become part of the Olympic archery team. So I called Chris. Hey, Chris, I'm interested in archery. Can you help me? By myself, I will make a mistake. And Chris generously agreed to help me. We went to Victory Archery Lane. I didn't know there were archery lanes just like bowling lanes where people shoot bows and arrows. So he puts a target out 10 feet. He strings this bow, yanks back, bam, right in the middle of the bow. The arrow splits the arrow. Gives me the bow. Bill cranks back. Hits the top of the target, cranes into the ceiling 40 feet away. Made a mistake. Chris, very patient. Not bad, Bill, for your first time. Let's try it again, Bill. Encourages me, coaches me. This time, Bill, open your eyes. Target. I eventually start hitting the target. Everybody eats and everybody bleeps.